Okay, so I haven't really talked at the beginning of any videos for, well, a while now at this point. Kind of quit doing that, but for this, I kind of want to give a little bit of a history lesson here. So, if you can see, this is a file. This is a mill bastard file. I think a 10-inch one, if I remember correctly. It's a little rusted, but still in decent enough shape. At least it will be for probably the next couple minutes. Once I throw it in the forge, that's going to be all gone. But what I'm gonna make with this is I'm gonna try and make something more like a combat knife thing. And we all know that files actually make pretty good knives. But fun fact, knives such as this is a buck knife. This is kind of the classic one. Were originally made from old files. I learned this somewhat actually I learned a little while ago, but these are actually similar widths. So I'm assuming the original creator of these was probably using a file very much like this to create his iconic knives. Not my favorite of all designs, and again, I'm going for more of a combat, not a hunting knife, but I just found it kind of interesting. So, anyway, I'm going to throw this, big file in the forge. I'm going to try and hammer out the teeth, maybe. Of course, give it a bigger tang because that's, not nearly big enough for a handle. Forge into bevels. I'll probably cut off the end and then forge it into a bit of a point. And, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna quit talking and get working. Just wanted to share that little bit of history. Okay, now that we have this nice and shaped in the forge, didn't turn out too bad. A little bit of cleanup to do, a lot of cleanup because I want to attempt to get the file teeth completely gone. Hopefully that works. I don't want that to be hooked. I actually want it to be flat. Not certain how well it's going to go. I'll do a bit of experimenting before I actually finish it. So yeah, I have a lot of grinding to do. Hopefully it won't take too long, but yeah, then you got to make a handle. Okay, so I got the bevels and everything sanded in. Very nice. So I wasn't originally gonna have them go all the way to the back, but I'm still getting used to this new sander and kind of messed it up. So I'm like, screw it, I'm gonna do that. Hopefully it's not too thin because this isn't a very thick blade. It's, again, a file. I was talking with the blacksmith I know from work, and he kind of joked that, well, you're not gonna be chopping trees down with it, but it should be fine. I'm not really too worried about strength-wise because these blades are actually made quite a bit. Hopefully it just doesn't warp during heat treat. I've had that problem in the past when I was making it was like a chef's knife, I think, like a long time ago. But the edge was very paper thin, and this still has a bit of thickness to it, like I can run my finger along it and not cut myself because it's like still got some meat there. I'm gonna put a secondary bevel on once everything's heat treated. But yeah, so it's ready to be normalized and heat treated. I also got my guard, got a slot cut out. Usually I drill it and then cut it with a Dremel, or not Dremel, but angle grinder, but I ended up just using a drill. That's all I did. Now once I get that, gonna put that in the forge, heat it up, make sure it fits nice and firm on there. Then I'll go and heat treat the blade. So, yeah, fun times. Okay, so I was getting through some stuff, and I realized I forgot to film some things. So, main thing that I did is I etched that. I also made a pommel. Super simple. I just cut it, sanded the shape, and then drilled and threaded it, which then I threaded under the tang. That, again, is just the same thing I made before. Then I stacked up a bunch of leather with a slot cut in. This is kind of where I marked it a little bit. Not very well, but, you can tell I tried. Glued it together with a bit of JB Weld, which you can kind of see poking through there. I've done it in the past where I didn't do that, and everything kind of loosened up, so a bit of JB Weld just holds everything together, makes everything nice and strong, and makes it to where, the guard won't loosen up over time, the pommel won't loosen up over time. Everything just stays. So that's why I do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a handful of tools. Usually, for something like this, I like to start out my box cutter. Oh, okay, don't do that. That could be very dangerous and you could injure yourself. Don't do what I do. I mess around way too much. So I'm gonna take that, cut off a little bit, kind of knock down some of the edges, little things. Then I'm gonna take my 1/2-inch detail sander and hopefully do all the shaping from there. I might have to hand sand a little bit, but I usually don't do a ton of that. So, yep, gonna quit talking and get to it because I have a lot to do and not enough time. If you cut this way, make sure your fingers are out of the way. Which is really hard to do on camera.